Hello and welcome to another episode of the Eclipse Exchange Podcast. I'm Louis Dowson.
I'm Aaron Parkin.
And today we're joined by Richard Parkin, Chairman of the Eclipse Group, and José Ramón, Chief Business Officer of Cojali Jaltest.
Hello, nice to be here.
So, José, thank you for joining us. It's a pleasure to have you on the Eclipse Exchange Podcast. Why don't you start by telling us a little bit about yourself and also Cojali. Who is Cojali? What do you guys do?
Well, sure. Thank you. Very glad to be here with you guys. First of all, I wanted to congratulate Eclipse because this initiative is really great. All our team is very proud of the work you're doing with the podcast. Yeah, and my name is José Ramón Serrano. I'm the Chief Business Officer of Cojali, also member of the board. I've been in the company now for almost 24 years. So I've seen the evolution of the company from the very beginning. You know, we started by remanufacturing fan clutches actually. And we have evolved really towards more technological products like Jaltest. So if you see our product schemes and business divisions today, parts is an important piece of the puzzle today. But of course, we have a lot of technology and a lot of Jaltest brands now. We started, as you know, with Jaltest Diagnostics. We have Jaltest Tools. We have Jaltest Telematics now. And we have Jaltest Isobus today.
So, Cojali, obviously based in Madrid, in Spain, or close to Madrid. How did you guys come up with the idea to sort of roll with Jaltest as a diagnostic platform? Where did that initiative come from?
Well, we are located south of Madrid, 150 kilometers. I think one of the nicest villages in Spain called Campo de Criptana.
Yes. And can I just say, as you drive into your village, it's apparent that Cojali premises is a lot bigger than the village that you occupy. It's really good.
Yeah, we have certainly evolved. I mean, if you look back 30 years ago, and even when I joined the company 4 years ago, the beginning of the group was with a small workshop. Even the ownership, they were doing all the tasks. Of course, they were repairing the fan clutches, they were doing all the sales, everything. There were only 4 people initially in the company, right? So you can see the evolution up until today. When you enter the company, the town, the first thing you see, as you mentioned, is the whole new buildings of Cojali in the area. And we're right now building another one, right, to complete the industrial area of Cojali. But it's interesting to talk about the evolution, of course, yeah? Because as I mentioned, we started with remanufactured fan clutches because we saw an interesting market niche there. There was no alternative for the workshops. They could only buy OE parts. So we thought it would be interesting to reman those parts. Also talking about sustainability, that was a good chance to start a new business, right? So soon after, we decided to enter also the braking systems and components. We did remanufacture and started manufacture some of these components, right? And as you know, the truck technology and the commercial vehicle technology has evolved pretty much in the last 30 years. So we saw the need because there were more and more electronic components in the vehicle, and we were getting a lot of requests from the workshops because they couldn't repair the vehicles anymore. There were a lot of electronics, EBS, sensors all over the place. Up until today, a truck can have even 40 electronic control units. So it was either change the brake pads of the vehicle or the brake drums in that case, or they couldn't repair anything else, so they needed something else. And diagnostic equipment was something only for the OE dealerships at the moment, right? So I think the ownership and the management of Cojali had a very good idea, but trying to solve this problem for the workshops. So they decided to create an engineering department in the year 2000 in Cojali, and to start to develop what is today Jaltest Diagnostics, right? So I can remember even the beginnings because I was doing initially the sales overseas of Jaltest. It was a very basic product, so that's basically the origin of Jaltest. We were selling a product dedicated only or prepared only to repair braking systems in trailers, and we can talk later about the evolution. But it was at the beginning, as any new product, it was hard to sell. And it was easy to sell because there was not many competitors in the market. There was nothing like that in the market. So, but we had our challenges because it was something new. Talking to issues in the trucks, in the vehicles, it was quite complex. I also remember something that happened to me in Denmark. They sent me over with the first Jaltest kit, which was a handheld tool, and I had to plug in a vehicle, and I even couldn't connect the cables to the Jaltest because they were the other way around. So I had to unscrew the caps of the cables, and I had to put them right, So all these sort of things happen, This doesn't happen today, of course. We have
it's come a long way since then.
Yeah. We can echo that when me and Aaron go out to see customers.
Absolutely.
It's much easier.
We couldn't do the job otherwise.
And obviously, you mentioned starting out in braking components, trailers, braking systems, remanufacturers, and fan clutches, etc. Obviously, it's great now. Jaltest doesn't just cover those systems, but it also covers several different types of vehicles. For the sake of the viewers, Jose, do you want to run through all the different Jaltest modules and industries that we cover now?
At the time, as I mentioned, we thought it was enough with the braking system for trailers. That's what we knew. And I think it's important to mention that the approach we have in Cojali with the diagnostics is different from our competition because, as you mentioned, we understand vehicle products, vehicle components. We manufacture vehicle components. So we're not only dedicated to electronics and diagnostics, we know what is the aim of the component in its system, right? So as I mentioned, we started with trailer diagnostics, but we soon noticed that the workshops were demanding diagnostics for the engine, diagnostics for the braking system in the truck also, and diagnostics for the body comfort system for, now you come up to the AdBlue systems also, which is, a big reality today. And you can find even up to 40, 45 ECUs in a vehicle. So we decided to continue investing in the project, of course, with a dedicated team. I remember the project was started by two guys at the beginning, our chief technical officer and another guy. And now we are more than 250 engineers working with Jaltest, right?
Yeah.
In different divisions. So the aim, and I also heard Richard mention that in the previous podcast, the aim of Cojali and Jaltest is always to be the best. And we really work hard to be the best on this business, right? Yeah. So the ownership is really committed to developing the product, to update the product, to invest in new technologies. So we don't stop, and we continue creating added value for the users, right? And also for our partners, of course, to be a reference in the market.
I can agree on that. I mean, when we started to work together, the product was at an early stage. We were selling another product at the time, not completely happy with that. We started to work together with Jaltest, and it quite. Rightly, we found some holes for our market. We came to you, said that we need this, and very quickly it was done. All those holes were covered. You came back to us with the product, and we said, hang on a minute, we've been waiting for this other product for years, and you've done it. So you got our attention. We started to, you gained the respect of us, and but what was very clear, that continued to happen. As soon as we need something, we come to you. If it's a problem, it's not a problem because you get around it, get it done.
Yeah, there's a passion.
And it's on.
Yeah.
Exactly that. It's a passion. We're passionate about this business, but you're passionate about
making
being
the product better,
the best product.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You're totally right, Richard. I think in business and in life, you have to be flexible and you have to listen to the demands, in this case, to the workshops, to the end users, to the partners. And you have to work hand by hand with them to develop the best product. Exactly. We might have a vision here, which is an outside vision. Of course, we cooperate very closely with workshops all over the world, right, and with partners. But I think that's the key to have the best product, to talk to partners like you, to be every day in the workshop, to listen to our customers. We get a lot of feedback also from the technical team, and you have done that very well. Also, you have a dedicated technical support team, which feeds also the needs they have in the workshop on a daily basis, right?
Yeah.
Well,
we had a perfect example that really sets Cojali and Jaltest apart from the competition is me and Aaron actually had a few customers but one in particular that we cover in a previous episode. There was a particular new machine, I think it was a Cabelco, was it? That Jaltest didn't actually have the model, that specific variant ready on the equipment yet. And our master technicians, our technical support team and your technical support team work together with the customer to apply a beta version onto the customer's equipment, apply that new model, that new variant, and he was able to diagnose the machine, even though, half an hour prior, he wasn't even, it wasn't even listed on the equipment. Yeah. And that's what we love is, if it's quite rightly, as Richard said, if there's a problem, it's not really a problem.
No, it's just
a matter of time.
Yeah,
you guys will add it to the system, and
which is the confidence we can then also put in the customer as well. To know that this will always be the best product.
Sure.
Yeah, I think Luis, we have with the time we have managed to also. You're part of the team. Eclipse is part of the Jaltest team. You have direct contact with our technical team, direct contact with the development teams. We go to UK to help you with the developments, to incorporate them in the later version of Jaltest. So we really appreciate this type of partnership because it makes the market in UK growth, the product growth also. And we have achieved this flexibility and this close partnership, which is on a daily basis, really. We see that also on the suggestions you make, right? For new products also. We have developed the new brand Jaltest tools, and that's something that we have to thank also Eclipse, because you saw the needs in the UK market of specific tools to repair the vehicles or to help the mechanics to repair the vehicles. And we have launched a new range also with an initiative that we came out together with you also.
Sure, yeah, which is great, and it's not just for commercial vehicles. Obviously, we've just mentioned machinery and all the different modules that Jaltest covers now. Obviously, you've got commercial vehicle, agricultural, off-highway machinery. There's obviously the new material handling module and marine. The material handling module, then, it was part of the off-highway module. You guys have just set up a dedicated team some months ago for material handling. Do you want to tell us a little bit more about that and the future of material handling diagnostics with Cojali?
Yeah, sure. Thank you, Luis, because you made a perfect description of what Jaltest is today, all the different models that we have. So we focus on highway and off-highway machinery, as you mentioned today, and we try to approach also very specific market niches. We scan the market, we analyze the customer needs, and we focus specifically with dedicated teams in these market niches. Yeah. As I mentioned also already, we have dedicated teams for every brand and for every vehicle type also in Jaltest, right? So we detected a need also for material handling equipment. There is a market niche that is growing very rapidly, also with electric machinery and also with combustion engines machinery, both. So we have been the first multi-brand equipment to launch a dedicated software for material handling equipment. We have separated that from the content from the AGV and from the off-highway because we believe this type of machinery is repaired differently by different workshops and so on. So it's something quite new from July this year, but we see the advantages now. Of course, we're investing a lot of resources to make that product grow, and we are seeing already the results in different markets. It's true that you need to be able to adapt to the market, and also the different distribution networks that we have sometimes need to find their space in their way because the markets are very different. The workshops are different. Commercial vehicles don't repair material handling equipment. Commercial vehicles, workshops don't repair agricultural vehicles also. But we need to explore all that has to do with on-highway and off-highway, talking about commercial vehicles. We like to be there. We like to be present. And as I mentioned, we like to be the best.
Yeah. And we can echo that. The demand that we've had in the UK for the newer modules, shall we say, like the off-highway, the machinery and the agricultural and the material handling is great. And the feedback from customers at the moment is when they purchase a Jaltest from Eclipse in the UK, they can't do without it. Once they have it, they soon realise that.
I'd echo that. Yeah, you get some people that, I don't know if I'm ready for it yet, or whatever at one point, and then you speak to them again, they just can't be without it. It's changed their business.
Yeah. So the feedback we always get from customers is that it's really easy to use. The technical information is superior to all the competition, and the technical support that they get from Eclipse and the technical support that they get from Cojali Jaltest is fantastic. And one thing we wanted to sort of get your opinion on, Jose, is how Eclipse have done supplying Jaltest in the UK, and obviously here we are now, 2021, with thousands of customers. How have you found the partnership over the years, and how do you see how well we're doing in the UK?
Well, I think our cooperation goes back to the year 2010, when we moved to the actual premises where we are at the moment. I remember the first visit of Richard and Dave at our premises. We were all a bit, expectant of what was going to happen. We had our experience in UK in the past. Also, Richard had a lot of experience with diagnostics, of course. We knew his background and his approach. But let's say that it was a first careful approach, from both parties, right?
Yeah.
But you could see really soon after that first meeting how, the business was really ramping up, and the commitment of Richard and the Eclipse team to grow the business, the dedication, the passion, as you mentioned. You can see that you really like what you're doing. You can see that the model that you have is the same model that we have here, because diagnostics is not only hardware. It's not only you sell a hardware and you forget and you run away, right? Yeah. So from the very first moment, you believe that diagnostics is technical support, is training, is product support. So now you complete the circle totally, and you're a reference in the market. I must say, not only in the UK market, right? We have had some people from US visiting Eclipse, for recommendations, setting up the business. We really set Eclipse as an example of the perfect distribution, the perfect partnership, on how to do things right in diagnostics. What I always say, if you believe in a product, if you're passionate about it, if you like it, if you work on a daily basis, and you push also your partner and your distributor and the manufacturer of the product to improve, then it's perfect, and that's what we see on a yearly basis. We have reached a point where it's, as I mentioned before, it's very easy to talk to you. You're part of the team. We consider you as colleagues. So the discussions, the suggestions are really easy, and the flow is very smooth,
Yeah, and that's exactly how we feel. Yeah. We often say that you guys just feel like an extension to us in the UK and vice versa.
It's the same family.
Very much a partnership. So, Jose, for the listeners then, can you give us any sort of snippets on what you've got coming over at Cojali, any new products or modules that you're planning to release?
Well, yes, sure. We always have an approach dedicated and focused towards the customer experience, right? We have a very interesting program embedded in Jaltest called the ERP also. So we're enhancing the ERP module. We did an enhancement also in the last version, 22.2, right? Sorry, 22, no, that's next year. 21.2, right? So we did an enhancement of this product, again, because we had some of our partners also to tell us that they needed sort of additional functions in this module to understand where the mechanics were working, where the technicians were working, in which vehicles, right? So they now have list of vehicles and tasks that the mechanics are doing. They can, utilize that to assign different tasks also to different mechanics. They can monitor the vehicles they're bringing into the workshop, and they can also structure the data in the way they want and get their own analytics out of this data. So our aim is always to enhance the user experience, to make it even easier to see what the workshops and what the users are looking at. We are introducing new modules also that's already released in Jaltest. We now have wiring diagrams per vehicle, right? The whole set of diagrams. We are very keen on our Jaltest info technical data, and we invest a lot on that. As you know, there are 7-8 modules in Jaltest. One is for diagnostics, of course, it's a must and it's very good. But we have 7-8 modules dedicated to technical information, repair information, maintenance data, schematics, and so on. And we are really focusing on that to give the workshop the independency to repair the vehicle, right, and the tools to repair the vehicle. And something very new coming out for next year, and that's maybe an exclusive here for this podcast, right?
We like exclusives.
Yes. It's something we are releasing early 2022. It's called Jaltest Info Web. So for the first time, we are separating a software out of Jaltest hardware, okay? Before, all the technical data was embedded in the hardware. It was required to connect the hardware to the vehicle and to the computer to see the technical data. So we also listened to our partners, to the market, and we saw there was a need, and there was a market needs that we could cover by setting up a product that is online, right? And any customer can buy. Even if they don't have a Jaltest hardware, a Jaltest kit, they will be able to buy the whole set of technical data, plus the reading of the DTCs of the vehicle, of the error codes, right? So I think it will be a good product for next year. Jaltest has reached a level in the market where we have thousands of users, thousands of workshops. So we want to open up the market to other users. Yeah,
and that's a good idea because it means that customers can have access to the technical information, the wiring diagrams, the service times, the fault code descriptions, all of the wonderful stuff that's in the background or that links with the diagnosis of the Jaltest product at hand on the web. So it could be that somebody in a different part of the company or a workshop or whatever just wants to access the technical information while somebody's using the Jaltest tool down the other side.
So we've had that question before. So this just reiterates this now and enables the use of this now.
It's and part of the fault codes being able to, we get a lot of customers ask us, if we have a machine or a vehicle 200-300 miles away or in a different country, getting to that vehicle to diagnose it with their hardware is obviously next to impossible unless they go out on a breakdown on a long journey. A facility where they could get the fault code description from the driver, from the operator, off the machine and feed that back to the workshop where the mechanics, the technicians can jump onto the Jaltest Info Web, as you've said, and search that information and see that clear as day and use that information prior to getting that vehicle or that machine back in for repair, and preparation is key.
So there's two ways of doing that now, really. So there's the info web, where the technician can assist with their own vehicle. But of course, telematics, because it's doing exactly that. It's fitted to the vehicle, it's pinging back, live information and the and fault descriptions and what have you. So they can also do that with telematics and. Perhaps you can tell us a little bit more, Jose, about the development, about how well we're doing with telematics throughout the world, really.
Of course. That was actually a natural evolution, I believe, from Jaltest Diagnostics, right? We have a workshop tool, workshop equipment, and then, again, we saw the demands that the fleets wanted to cover in this case, And as you mentioned, you have an error code and you don't know what to do. Your vehicle is in the middle of nowhere and you don't know what to do. You have to call a repair center in a different country whatsoever. So we really enhanced the current solutions of telematics that were available in the market. So we applied the principles of our multi-brand diagnostic equipment with our diagnostic development team, and we managed to cover remote diagnostic solutions live and embedded and on board in the vehicles, right? So it's not just geofencing what we do. We don't tell you only where the vehicle is. We do a proper scan, of course, only about the possible things that we can do. We cannot operate or actuate components, because that can be dangerous. We can do some actuations of the DPF regeneration, for example, which is very interesting also, right? Yeah. But our approach to telematics has to do with remote diagnostics and has to do with predictive maintenance, right? So it's something different, new to the industry also, in the aftermarket in this case. Multi-brand, we're able to installing all the vehicle brands in all the trailers also. So we give a lot of solutions really for the fleets, for the multi-brand fleets. Most of the fleets are multi-brand. They have trailers, different makes and so on.
Yeah.
So we did set up the Telematics business unit around 4 years ago. We have started already with Eclipse in the UK. It's very promising.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's true that it's a different market. There's much more competition there, but not really with remote diagnostics, and this added value.
Yeah.
All the models that we are applying with artificial intelligence, to prevent and predict the error. We want to save the fleet's time. We want to reduce the downtime of the vehicle. So we want to help them with their assets. The assets need to be moving. They don't need to be in the workshop, right?
Absolutely. They're expensive vehicles, need to be kept on the road, and also there's the predictive maintenance, if you like. Really, we can predict when something's going to fail. That part can be ready by the time the vehicle gets back to base, or stop because you're going to do horrendous damage because that component will burn out or fail. Or
things as simple as soot content. Doing that on the road. Again, preventative maintenance. Seeing a potential problem.
Let's not wait for the vehicle to end up in limp mode. Let's act now before it gets any worse.
Exactly.
Brilliant. And obviously that's sort of part of the future. It's part of what's happening now with Eclipse and globally with Jaltest. But one thing we're getting asked by our customers is, electric vehicles, hydrogen, alternative fuels. What's the future with Jaltest with these different machinery and different vehicles with these new alternative fuel methods? What have Jaltest, what have Cojali got planned, and what are you working on at the moment?
Well, it's true that it's a market trend today. It started with passenger cars, of course, but in the heavy-duty industry, we have to differentiate pretty well between trucks and buses. Okay, I think the electrification in trucks will arrive later than in buses. The bus electrification is a reality today. All the different tenders we are participating in the municipalities, even in UK, we're cooperating with you. They all have electric vehicles today. So we, of course, need to adjust and need to adapt our product portfolio to this reality. We need to mention that in Jaltest, we have 3 scheduled updates, right, every year. And we don't want to miss these updates, right? So we really work very closely with the innovations. We have a lot of workshops that cooperate with us. We cooperate with OE manufacturers also. So we want to be up to date, of course. We already have electric vehicles, including our diagnostic equipment. One of the main things you need to diagnose is the battery management system, of course. That's what people are monitoring today, the state of health of the battery, of the electrical systems, of course. I'm sure this will be a market where we'll be growing pretty much in the future, in the next updates. We are, of course, present in all the exhibitions that are taking place. We were in Lyon 3 weeks ago. We sold the new vehicles, even the trucks, right? But for the trucks, I think is a concept at the moment, right? Because the range is very short, and you need recharging points. So it's a challenge for the vehicle manufacturers, of course. So we see that some of them are, either going for the electrification or for the fuel cell also. We have examples of failures also in the truck industry where they try to launch fully electrical trucks, and they have not managed for many years so far to release that onto the market, right? So, of course, we will see some trucks coming in very soon, but the reality today is the bus world, the light commercial vehicles, of course. There are plenty of models today that we are updating in Jaltest. All these type of vehicles will be present in our diagnostic equipment. We cooperate with a lot of partners, so that's a must for us, and we will be, of course, in here for the future. Yeah.
Sure. And you mentioned the updates in there, and this is something that we're so keen with our customers, making sure that your equipment is up to date and it just cover new vehicles or new alternative fuels, new electric vehicles, etc. But it's also about improving the equiment on the vehicles you're
enhancing the older applications as well as adding new ones. That's right.
And we see firsthand, when we use this equipment on demonstrations, Aaron, we see the changes on the updates are astronomical. Each update that comes out, we're like, wow, it wasn't there yesterday, it's there today. And that's something that we definitely advise all of our customers that keep your Jaltest up to date.
Yeah, to keep it the best kit in the world, you've got to keep it updated.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. And Jaltest will have that function on there for you. Yeah. So we've covered Telematics, we've covered Jaltest Info Web and some of the new products that Jaltest have been working over the last few years, and something that's growing more and more within the market is ADAS, and obviously we've got a lot of customers in the UK using Jaltest ADAS. Do you want to tell us a little bit about the ADAS product?
Yes, sure. I mean, it's quite interesting also our approach, and also together with Eclipse in this case, for the new technologies in the vehicles. Since the year 2017, the ADAS systems are compulsory in the vehicles, in commercial vehicles. They will come also compulsory in passenger cars in the future. It's a relevant safety system. It can prevent from many accidents. And of course, there is a lot of technology involved. You have radars, you have cameras. So we came up with the idea that we needed also to develop ourselves the structure, the panels. Of course, we do the diagnostics. We can, read the errors in the system. But there's a need also to calibrate, the systems. There are two ways of calibrating, dynamic and static. And for the static calibration, you need a structure, you need targets. So again, we came up with the idea that we needed to manufacture this product, and we have done in-house. We have not mentioned also in the podcast, but all the ECUs, the Jaltest ECUs, are even produced in-house in Cojali with an SMT line. Yeah. So we develop everything from the scratch, either hardware for ADAS, hardware for Jaltest diagnostics, the designs, the PCBs. We assemble the components of the PCBs in-house. So that's the same approach we have with ADAS, right? We launched the product within the Jaltest Tools range of products, which covers another market need for special tools, electronic equipment, measurement equipment, and so on, and test benches. We don't have to forget about the PT to power up the trailer, to check up the lights of the trailer, speed sensor tester. We came out with a multi-pin kit right yesterday, so we are updating the program with new products on a monthly basis, right? To give the users the possibility to repair better, or as we say, to repair good, repair better, and repair with the best. Yeah, that's our slogan, right? So I think ADAS will play a very important role in the years to come. Now we see the product ramping up in these years. We just shipped a couple of ADAS, I think yesterday or today, to Eclipse also.
Yeah, that's right. We sold plenty, but we like the design of the product, that it's more of a mobile solution. So it can go in the back of a van, be transported to customers' premises to carry out the ADAS calibration. But you would say, being portable, it probably wouldn't be as rigid as possible. But it really is. It's well constructed. Strong design, but allows it to be portable, to roll out the van into a workshop, a flat surface, carry out the calibration onto the next one. So I think all around it's working. It doesn't have to be a piece of kit that's stood in the workshop permanently.
Yeah. Here again, Richard, I remember the first Jaltest ADAS we shipped to UK. You remember about that?
Absolutely.
It got damaged, right? It was very rigid. So you came up with the idea of making more portable also, right? For transportation, also that it will fit.
So that was my idea. So there's some loyalty here. Okay. Yeah, but no, between us, we thought actually it would open our market better, because we listened to our customers, you listen to your customers, and that was that actually at these early days, it's probably quite an expense to have stuck in one workshop, that it can't be moved. So why don't we make that a portable where the arms come in and collapse down and stay together, and then it can be transported to another workshop and the job done. So the equipment is working all day in different locations. So
when you repair the windscreens of the heavy-duty vehicles, you normally don't go to the workshop. You go to the place where the vehicle is damaged.
Exactly.
So it's good to put it in a trolley. Or in a van, and you transport that to repair the vehicle. So the mobile solution, it was a must, of course.
Yeah.
We have developed that, and now you can put it in, not in the trunk of the car like you do with the Jaltest to sell them on a daily basis, right? Which is another good example of your commitment. Yeah.
Is it? Exactly, it's what we do. The guys carry new equipment. They go to demonstrate it, show the customers, and if they like it, we
they do.
we're absolutely But what we're saying is, if they like it so much that they want to buy it there and then, we have the product with us in the vehicle, ready to go. Yeah. It gets activated. Customer literally starts earning from his investment straight away.
Yeah. Why wouldn't you want the use of the kit straight away?
Yeah, absolutely.
That's right.
Well, we often, we covered this in a previous podcast, but when we do get to the point where the customer would like to have his Jaltest, normally they've got 2 or 3 problems already lined up, ready for the Jaltest.
There's a need, isn't there?
Absolutely. There's a need there to get it as fast as possible, and we obviously like to pride ourselves on being able to supply our customers there and then, or on a next day delivery.
Exactly right.
One thing you mentioned there just now, Jose, is the PTE as well, the Jaltest PTE, which is something we're getting asked about more and more, and it is something that we're going to cover in depth and give our viewers an example of how it's used. But do you want to tell us a little bit about the PTE product and what that does?
Yeah, well, it's something we came out also, as I mentioned, in UK. It was not pretty much well known in the rest of the countries in Europe, actually. Yeah, but really, sometimes you have a lot of trailers lined up in the yard, and you don't have the tractor head to connect it. So there's nothing you can do with the trailer. You cannot diagnose, you cannot repair. So with the PTE, you have the opportunity to power up the trailer, to run diagnostics on the trailer, and to do a full checkup on the light system of the trailer. You can utilize it also for the truck, of course. Yeah, but the main aim is to diagnose trailers. Trailers sometimes are the forgotten part of the vehicles, right? That is not relevant. But of course, it's a safety vehicle also. Very relevant. We are cooperating also with some OEs now. We are developing diagnostics for some trailer manufacturers, and one trailer can have up to 7 electronic control units up until now. So we really like to invest also in this type of technology where we help all the vehicle types to be repaired in a proper way. It's a professional tool also for the workshop, and if you want to keep up to date, have the latest technology in your workshop, if you want to bring in more customers, you need ADAS, you need PT, you need all these special tools that we have to make easier the daily task of the workshop. Yeah, so that's the aim of the PT and of the rest of the products from these tools divisions that we are releasing.
So thank you for joining us, Jose, on the Eclipse Exchange podcast. If you're interested in Jaltest, reach out to Eclipse, and thank you very much again for watching and joining us.
Thank you very much. Great to be here.
Thank you, Jose.
Thank you. Bye-bye.